Okay, so in the last video, I said that Izumo was 2 years old. I'm gonna say he was 2 months years old. I want to say actually we do 8 month time skip, and he's 2 years. When I say it was December, and his birthday is on January 1st, and we do 8 months, and he's 2 years old now. And in those 2 years, um, basically, so basically, um, in a 2 year time skip. Ooh, basically so basically Naruto or Izuku, he sees his kid walking and he says, Momo, come here, you gotta see this. And Momo sees Izumo walking, and when he sees Izumo walking, basically when she sees Izumo walking, she basically just picks him up and says, he's only 2 years old, how does he know how to walk? Well, he just turned 2, how does he know how to walk? And Deku says, I guess my son's a prodigy, or I guess my son's an early bloomer. And basically, after he says that, she Momo, and she says yeah, and she goes and she kisses Deku, and no, Deku goes to kiss Momo, and she blushes, and Deku says, you blush a lot. And no, Deku told Mama that she blushes a lot, and Mama blushed even harder. And he said, haha. He laughed, and then he, and then, and 2 months later, no, not 2 months later, we're gonna do we're not gonna do a time skip, or we're just gonna. Okay, so I just took like a 30-minute break. Okay, and I forgot where I was at, so I'm gonna just start over. Oh no, I know where I was at. She says, Momo says, she says, um, she says, she says, Momo says, are you gonna initiate that plan now? Or, Deku says it's not to initiate plan KHITAH, which means kill all heroes in training. No, it's KAHITAH, which means kill all heroes in training and heroes. So basically what happens is Bakugo and all of those fresh, like Bakugo and those guys, they're heroes now. Besides, they're basically the heroes in canon. Besides Deku and Bakugo, he goes to I want to say Bakugo, he goes with All Might, or Aizawa. He goes with Aizawa, and I'm gonna add another person to this channel. It's gonna be Nigeria. Basically, they're 17 or 18, and Deku, he's walking through the street and he sees Nigeria. She's getting beat by. I'm gonna say she's getting beat by some villains in the alleyway, and they're about to do something that they're probably gonna regret. And as they're about to do this thing that they're about to regret, No, but I said Boruto and Naruto. I meant to say Deku. He comes in there and like he sees the third Teenager and he zooms over there and punches and kills all those villains. Even though he's a villain, he still doesn't like seeing girls get hurt. So he said, "Are you okay?" And then he said, "Nejire?" And she said, Izuku, is that you?" And um, Izuku, he has a video. He says, "No, I think you're the wrong person." And basically, Naruto or Deku, he says no. I mean, Nejire says no, no. You are Izuku. I can tell it by your voice. And she ran up and she hugged him and she said, "Izuku, Kun, where have you been all these years? I love you and you left me." And Izuku, he said, "Oh, I have to add another one to the group." And she says, "What do you mean?" And she says, basically, I already have 3 girlfriends. I have 3 girlfriends and I have a son. And basically, basically, all you have to do is go ask them, "Can you share me?" And if they say yeah, then you can share me. But if they say no, you gotta go. And we skip a week, and Nigeria, she builds up the courage to go to LOV hideout because Deku told her where it was, and he said, if you betray me, you'll die." And she said, "Okay, Izuku." So when he takes her to the hideout, oh sorry, God, my phone fell. He takes her to the hideout, and he says, or she gets to the hideout, and she knocks on the door, and Toga answers, and Toga says, "What do you want?" And Nejire says, can I speak to Izuku-kun?" And but she doesn't say that. She says, I was told by Izuku-kun that if I come here and ask, can I share him with you guys?" And she looked down, and Toga said, "Hold on, stay here." And basically, he came and he said, or Izuku said, Izuku was like, Momo and Mina came to the door and with Toga, and they said, should we let Nejire share our Izuku? And Mina said yes. They all said yes. I'm gonna just get that over with. And Nejire pops in, and she sees Izuku, and she basically sees Izuku, and she says, "Izuku, can?" They said yes, and she said, "Good." And Deku said, "Good for you." And and what's her name? Whatchamacallit says. Then whatchamacallit says, Deku says, Deku says, that he says, okay, and Nejire goes and kisses him on the lips and said, "I want to have some fun. I've been waiting for you all these years, for you and you only." and she said, and he said, and she said, I've been waiting for your Izuku gun. And she says, I want you to be my first. And basically, when he says this, she Toga blushes, or Midori blushes and says, or Deku blushes and says, okay. And he says, and when he says this, when Nedra says this, he blushes, and when he blushes, basically, what happened was, when she said that, and she was like, Izuku-kun, I want you to be my first. Basically, she was like, I want you to be my first, and Nedra and Deku said okay, and they went into the room, and she started kissing on Deku before he could even close the door. And for plot reasons, this is gonna be good. So they're making out, and then Izumo, he comes in the room, and he says, are y'all wrestling? What are you doing? And Deku, he says, yeah, this is grown, so this is adult wrestling. And when he says this is adult wrestling, Izumo says, can I play? Or he says, we're wrestling. And Izumo says, can I play? My quirk is pretty strong. And he says, we're not using a quirk. And we're not using our quirks. And Izumo said, why not? When you're fighting someone, you're supposed to use your quirks every time. Isn't that right, Papa? Right, Mommy? And then Momo comes in the room and sees that they're about to do the dirty. And she says, oh, really? And she says, I'm gonna just leave y'all too. Yes, she says, come on, Izumo. And Izumo follows. And basically, when Izumo follows, he goes and he says, Mommy, why can't I play with them? And almost that's for grown folks. That's for adults only. And Izumo says, oh, okay. And he looks down, and Mama says, well, we can play. You wanna play with me? He says, we can play. Can we play together, Mommy? And he said, and Izumo says, or Mama says, yeah, sure. And they just toss a ball around. And so basically, they're in the room, and Naruto, he claps it. He's going at it, and Toga walks in there. No, Mina walks in there, and she says, which Toga walks in there, Toga and Mina walks in there, and they say, Izuku, good, we made you bread. But look, it said breakfast. They see Izuku finding the cheeks of Nichire and them tongue kissing. And basically, he is just, this is gonna be a short video, like probably, this is gonna be a short video, it's gonna be like 30 minutes, a short video. And, it's probably gonna be 20, I don't know, cause I'm trying to watch The Flash. And so, she tries, and I'm gonna make another what if after this. I'm gonna start a new one. It's what if, you'll see. So basically, what happens is Izuku, he looks at Toga and Momo, and they just have grins on their face. And Nedre, she's shaking her head. She said, "Yeah, come on." And Deku said, "What? Why are you looking like that?" And Momo came in there, and she said, "I think you know why." And he said, and then Yuzuma, he was asleep. Dougie was like, "Well, where's Yuzuma? Aren't you supposed to be playing with him?" And Momo said, "Nope, put him to sleep." And he's like, "We're gonna wake him up with all this noise." And she says, "No, I'll cover the door with my quirk." And Deku says, "Oh, okay." And basically, he basically just clap all their cheeks. And I'm gonna say he gets Toga pregnant. She gets Toga. He gets Toga pregnant. Toga and Mina pregnant. So when he gets Toga pregnant, 2 weeks later, she keeps throwing up. Her and Mina keep throwing up, and they go to the doctor, and they say, well, they take a doctor test. I don't know what it's called. Pregnant test. They take a pregnant test, and it come out that she pregnant. Both of them pregnant, and it basically what happened. And basically what happens is they tell Deku that they're pregnant, and he gets happy. He gets excited and says, "Yeah, I'm gonna be." He says, and he says, basically he's like, he's like basically he's rubbing their stomachs saying, "Yeah, I got 2 more kids on the way." And he says, "Nejire, you're next." And she blushes and says, "Oh, okay, Izuku-kun." And this is where Izuku says, "Now I have to go initiate my plan." And Izuku, after this, he says, "I have to initiate my plan." He gets Shigaraki, and Shigaraki, he's evolved his quirk. He, instead of just touching you with one hand, with 5 fingers, he has to touch you with 3 fingers. Or 2 he has to touch you. He has to touch you with 5. He can touch you with 5 hands, but he can like activate his quirk or deactivate it. It's not like it's always active. And Kurigiri, he can when his brace is off, he can control his power more. And also Kurigiri, Deku gave Kurigiri another quirk, and Shigaraki. He gave him the quirk control, which basically it makes him. He gave Kurigiri control over his quirk. So, Krieger his quirk, and Krieger he gets happy, and he's like, so basically what happened, sorry, Cisco he just dumped the girl. And he gets the girl off. Basically what happened is when he initiates the code. And when he initiates the code, he
You okay? What are you doing? You can't take that out of here.
he says, after he says I'm gonna be a dad, he initiates code. He activates it. And Krieger, his quirk, he's like,
Where are you?
wait, Grog is still alive? Alright, sorry. I'm gonna drop him now. So basically, the
Patty, what'd you find?
Found these weird-looking hairs all over the street. I'm gonna run them against a database and see what I can find.
so basically,
His name is Dr. Jeffrey.
he says, and also the quirk control. It basically like you can control, and you can like you can just control your quirk, or you can just control anything. But like not like hypnotism, like you can move stuff, but it's kind of like technesis or telekinesis, boy. But so basically after that, he initiates the code. I'm just call it code GS, but it's not code GS. And he says, time to initiate code GS. And basically, D. sorry, he just fell. He just fell off the right track and bust his back. All right, so as we're walking, as Deku and Shigaraki, Kirigiri, and some more low tier villains and mid tier villains are walking. He gets to UA and he sees all the new students and he says, "Ha, fresh meat." And basically they just go on a rampage killing kids. And Momo, she doesn't know about this. But he goes on a rampage killing those kids. He only purifies kids. He's like Stain, but if you disrespect him, you're gonna die. If you talk to him, you're gonna die. Or don't talk to him, but if you disrespect him and talk to him in a not a respectable way, you're gonna die. If you put your hands on him, you gonna die. Like smack him or anything, hit him, you're gonna die. If you like, and if you another one is if you look at him the wrong way, he'll think that you're plotting something and he'll kill you. And like basically 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 so basically when he goes to the thing, he goes back home, he's covered in blood, and Momo sees this. She says, you killed someone, didn't you? She looked down, and and it's like he's looking down, and he said, my evil side had took over. I'm sorry, Mama. And she hugs him and she kisses him and said, it's okay, Izu-kukan. I just need you to control it, cause I don't want you hurting anybody here. And he says that when he says that, and basically and basically when she hugs him, he's Naruto's Deku says, sorry, Mama. And then they go to Deku takes a shower with Momo, Mina, Nejire, Toga, and they all clean. They don't do anything. They just clean themselves. But they all go walk. You know what I'm saying? And basically, after that, they go to sleep and they wake up to Shigaraki. They wake up to an explosion at the front door, and they're wondering what this is, or more like a bomb went off at the front door, and they're wondering what this is, and they're like, then they wake up and Shigaraki says, Izuku, run! And as they get Izuku he gets his kids and basically, basically, uh, and so sorry for the stop. So we see Izuku getting his son and telling them. He's saying he getting his son and he and him and what's this? And the girls they run. He wakes them up and says, "Run as far as you can and don't look back. Even if you hear any screams or yells, don't come back. Wait till I give you the code to." Is the code is he whips her. Whispers it and he whispers it in Momo's ear and says, "You can tell anyone else this code, not even our own son." And she says, "Okay." And she goes to Toga. He goes to Toga and he says, he goes to Toga and Mina and says, "I'm sorry if I won't be here for my kids to be born. I'm sorry if I'm not there to be a good father." And they start crying and says, "You'll always be a good father. It's just that this is happening." And basically it's been like basically it's been like they just started running at the back door and basically when they run at the back door, you see 50 pro heroes rushing in and Deku, Shigaraki, Kurigiri, and other low tier and mid tier villains in a fighting stance. And we see Deku, he's or Izuku. We see Izuku running and he says he doesn't see them running. He sees them he sees that they're like there's a lot of heroes and he gets in his fighting stance and he starts like he uses cremation, he uses ice quirks, he uses everything. Creation quirks. And
Found another suit in the time bomb. Thought he was dead. He said this is Harrison Wells from Earth 2. Earth 2? I'll explain later. We can get Harry to convince Squad that he's Wells. He's his father. Maybe we can convince him to let Caitlin go.
and basically so he just starts throwing quirks at him, and we're not throwing quirks, but like using his quirks at him, and yeah.
Okay, let's do this again. Give me your best Wells. I'm not doing the Wells again. Told you. I just made these anti-mind control airlips. They could fail, and if they
Basically,
toast, you're gonna need to nail it if you want to live.
Basically,
Cisco.
Basically.
In many ways, you've shown me what it's like to have a son.
Basically, he kills about. I said if there's 50 heroes, he kills about 20 of them, and Shigaraki kills about 10, and Kurigiri he warps some of them to the one with useless quirks. He warps them to a deserted island, and there's about 7 left, and those 7 are S tiers. They try to attack, and Deku try to attack them, and they easily block, and they kick Deku in the stomach. And they say there's one man named Dr. X, and he says you're gonna be my experiment, boy. And he hits Deku upside of his head with a baton, and the baton is, or he knocks him out, and his vision get blurry, and then all you see is Shigaraki and Kirigiri whooping away, trying to drag Deku's body, but Kirigiri gets shot in the arm, and they have to leave him. And Deku knows they have to leave him. He knows what they had to do, and he says, even if I do come back, I'll forgive you guys. I know what you had to do. And this, I think this is part 4 or 3. But yeah, basically what happened was a 2-day we do a 2-day time skip, and they are Mocha and the girls. They're sitting there. They're waiting on Izuku at Izuku's home, and he knows that they're waiting there. But he told them to wait there and don't leave, cause I'll be back. Even if I don't get to see my kids grow up, they'll still be mine, and I'll still be their father, and I love them with all my heart. And Deku, we get back to go to Dr. X, as we see Deku wakes up, and he tries to move, but he's strapped down into a cold table, a cold metal table, as it looks like to him. But it's one of those things that scientists put humans on. He wrapped his arm. He wrapped his arm on there.
Is the white matter and connectivity in the brain cells.
Well, he wrapped his arm.
Chemicals that you were treated with as an infant were meant to overcome those differences and cause explosive growth of both, similar to what humans experience in their first.
So basically,
maybe these chemicals can be used to duplicate that growth, then we won't need a particle accelerator explosion.
Hey, buddy. Easy, buddy. It's me. I'm back. No, buddy, I didn't die. I just went away for a while.
basically,
And that's very well. Let's keep talking.
when
Now that I'm back. We don't need Caitlin anymore, do we, buddy? So you can let her go. Come on, buddy. Let me get her out of here. Please. Father never asked for
Run.
basically,
Cisco, you gotta get in there, man. Okay, you guys gotta
sorry for the stop. I'm watching The Flash. So basically, what happened is
The drugs they brought so well that an overdose of those drugs will shock his brain, okay? Just hit him with as much as you can. You are not him. You are not father. I am father. And you hit
And basically,
Look at me! I will never leave you here alone. God, I made you a promise. I have bigger plans for you. One day, this city will be yours. I promised you. I intend to honor that promise.
so basically, sorry. Basically, basically, we see Deku getting. We don't see. We know, but we see that Deku he gets smacked and he's getting tortured by this Dr. X, and he's inserting drugs, chemicals, and everything into Deku, trying to make new quirks. And he develops like 4 or 5 new quirks, and he wants him to use these quirks. So he says, "You better use these quirks, boy, or I'll beat you to a bloody pulp." And I heard that you have suits that you're dang they're immortal. So no matter what I do to you, just heal it up. Isn't that right, boy? And he says, Deku doesn't talk. He doesn't talk, and he gets the baton and he smacks him across his head. He says, "Isn't that right, boy?" And Deku says, "Yes, it is." And basically, he says, "We can't have you dying now, can we?" And he says, "I don't really need to feed you or anything, because you'll just heal." And we time skip 8 months. All the kids are born, and all the kids are born, and they're wondering, where is Deku? Where is Deku? And they don't know that he's been captured. Kurger, he warps. He's warping everywhere until he warps this abandoned facility. He warps inside and he sees Izuku strapped down. For 8 months, Izuku's been like this, and Kurigiri sees this. He warps out, but Deku not seeing Kurigiri. Kurigiri warps out, and he goes to Shigaraki and the girls, and Shigaraki says, or Kurigiri says, "I found Izuku," and Toga says, "Where is he?" Well, Momo says, "Where is he?" And Izumo, he said, "Yeah, where's my dad at?" And other kids, I want to say that they don't know about Izuku, but they seen pictures of him, and they say, "Dada," and they keep saying Dada, but he hasn't come yet. And not in Deku, he's just sitting there getting tortured every day. And basically, this brings back his phobia of being touched. But the only people that can touch him are his family. And it brings that phobia back. And also, it brings back, that's all it brings back. And we see, like I said, I was going to make this a short video, but it's been 45 minutes already. But I like how and sorry, and you see Izuku, we see,
Right here. You need to let him go, God.
we see, and
No.
and
Trying to save me from you.
and
Understand what you wanted, but now we do. I can give you what you want.
and Kirby and Toga says, Toga, Momo, and Mina and Nedra says, "Where's Izuku-kun?" And they say Izuku-kun, and then Character says Izuku. He's
Ready to flip the switch.
it says where's Izuku, and when they go to Izuku,
Barry, you can't let grind get free.
and
Conquer your fears, son, and believe in yourself.
and basically Kirby says where is Kirby? They say where is he, and he says he's in, and he says he's in experimental facility or an abandoned warehouse, and he's been experimented on, and they see Deku or want to do a time skip of 2 months, and they're ready to go get Deku now. Izuku, he's endured a year of this, but to him it felt he only endured 1 year, but to him it felt like 1,000. And but basically, what happened was basically he says they said they're ready to go get Deku, and Kirigiri walks to Deku, and he sees Deku Deku's limb or his stomach ripped open, everything ripped open, and they see Deku with a bloody face, and Deku he keeps trying to he heals. That quirk is automatically he heals, and he tries to manipulate his skin to heal even faster, and he can't. He can't. But basically, they go to Deku. When they get to Deku, they try to cut him down. Shirogaki, he decays. He decays the chains and the things, and they pick up Deku and they put him in the portal, and they walk back, and they go back to Deku's house. And this one be ending this part of what if Deku was betrayed by UA.